Inside Brand DNA, the secrets of a brand. This is essential branding core knowledge. Let's look inside a brand and understand its basic elements. Once we comprehend how these simple elements work together, we'll have unraveled the hidden keys to building your own successful brand. A brand USP, that's a unique selling proposition. This is your secret weapon. Most importantly, all highly successful brands have a unique selling proposition, what's called a USP. Your USP should be legitimate, believable, and unique to your product, where no other competitor can make this same claim. The brand USP delivers on the question, why should I buy your product over all others? What's inside a brand DNA? Well, let's break down the key parts and take a look inside the brand under the hood and what makes this brand work. So what is a brand? A brand evokes a positive or negative feeling about a product or service. At best, a brand will own a word in a product or service category. Tiffany's owns the word status in the fine jewelry category. Walmart owns the word value price in the retail mass space. Xerox and Kleenex own both the product and the word in their respective categories. Now let's delve inside the elements of a brand's DNA to understand what we recognize as a brand, and we'll look at these one at a time. The marketing mix. Understanding the 10 Ps. This is a brand's exterior DNA structure in the marketplace, known by its unique marketing mix of the 10 Ps. Let's take Coca-Cola for this example. We'll go through the 10 Ps step by step. 1. Product. Coke has a quality product offering that consistently delivers a unique and satisfying flavor profile. 2. Placement. Coke is sold in an amazing number of channels, from retail outlets to restaurants to sporting events to convenience stores, club stores, food service, schools, industry, prisons, literally every place you can imagine, plus vending channels and more. Coca-Cola products are not generally marketed by direct mail, nor are they sold in high-end department stores or on cable shopping networks. Direct sales groups like Avon ladies don't sell Coke. 3. Positioning. Coke has its brand positioned as the real thing against its rivals. And the brilliance of this is, if Coke is the real thing, then what are all the competitors? Obviously, they're not the real thing. Brilliant positioning. 4. Price. Coke is priced at an everyday drink as opposed to a $200 bottle of wine. Packaging. Coke is known for its distinctive red and white packaging, the dynamic swoosh, and its unique bottle shape that set the Coke brand apart on shelf from its competition. 6. Promotion. Most of us have literally seen millions of Coke promotions in our lives, from TV spots to billboards, print ads, promotions, merchandising, and more. 7. Public relations. The Coke public relations team helps maintain their product image around the world, managing brand crisis situations such as the 1999 Belgian recall or the devastating new Coke fiasco in 1985. 8. Point of sale, or POS. From the vending machine graphics to the outdoor signs and indoor promotional material, Coke's point of sale items and memorabilia are highly collectible and get the job done. 9. Production. Coca-Cola Enterprises commands the largest beverage manufacturing and distribution arm on the planet. They can produce all they can sell. 10. Proliferation. It's hard to get through the day without exposure to a Coke logo multiple times. The right mix of the 10 Ps defines the Coke brand within the marketplace. Now, what happens when we get the wrong mix? So the wrong mix of the 10 Ps. One of my clients wanted to capitalize on the success of Slick 50's automotive oil additive startup. And so what he did was he arranged for a private label manufacturer to create a similar product that was close to Slick 50, counting on the heavy Slick 50 advertising campaign to bring those customers into store shelves and, of course, see his product next to the Slick 50 one. So here, customers would encounter his product as a lower price point as an alternative to the original Slick 50 brand. The product was named Protect 100, signifying that this product offered twice the mileage guarantee as offered by Slick 50, and it used real DuPont brand Teflon in its formulation. The plan worked. The Slick 50 advertising brought customers into the stores that were confronted with a choice to buy Slick 50 or Protect 100. The slightly less expensive alternative was Protect 100, and of course that made very strong profits for the first few months after the initial product launch. garnering many customers with a slightly lower price away from Slick 50. Unfortunately, after the first year, tough retail buyers successfully brought the price down from $19.27 to $13.49. Meanwhile, the Slick 50 brand held off the retailer price reduction pressure and kept its full price of $22.49. So as retailers squeezed down the price of Protect 100 and customers perceived that Protect 100 could no longer possibly be the same quality as Slick 50, so Protect 100 was soon pulled off the shelf as sales waned. Protect 100 had the right mix of 10Ps to start, but by changing one of the successful 10Ps, which was the price, the brand was destroyed. Brand identity. Let's talk about the brand DNA structure and what's inside a brand. This is what we call the brand identity. A brand is known by its unique mix, and the following brand identity elements are inclusive in the brand identity. AOBs, customers' attitudes, opinions, and beliefs. Each customer has their own set of AOBs directing their behavior. The customer AOBs become the reality to which a brand steward must deal with, as this example explains. Okay, and I'll show you. Here's why. A 3-year-old boy went with his dad to see a new litter of kittens, and upon returning home, the boy breathlessly informed his mother that there were 2 little boy kittens and 2 little girl kittens. And of course, the mom said, "Well, how do you know that?" And he said, "Well, Daddy picked them up and looked underneath." And he replied, "Well, I think it's printed on the bottom." So right, wrong, or founded or unfounded, your customers' attitudes, opinions, and beliefs are very real to them. And so customer perception, right or wrong, becomes the reality in which we live and in which your brand will succeed or fail. Let's talk about the law of cognitive dissonance. Logic dictates that humans strive to seek consistency and harmony within their attitudes, opinions, and beliefs. When confronted with an experience conflicting with their established set of AOBs, anxiety, discomfort, and denial set in. Therefore, brand messages not aligned with customer AOBs will be met with one of the following customer responses. 1. The importance or credibility of the message will be negated. 2. The customer will perceive that they are being manipulated or faced with an untruth, and anger or resentment may set in. 3. The disconnect will result in the message being ignored. Behavior is generally a direct result of the stimulus provided. The customer maintains their AOBs. The customer's AOBs align with your product and strong category. If enough desire exists, a purchase behavior in your favor may result. What are these attitudes, opinions, and beliefs? They are the total accumulation of a person's life experiences, ranging from "I like my coffee black" to "my boss underpays me." To get your customers to select your product over a competitor's, we must understand the following. To alter behavior, you must alter belief. To create behavior, you must create belief. To intensify behavior, you must intensify belief. Let's talk about a customer mind map. A customer mind map is a unique imaginary mental diagram that exists within your customer's mind that defines and positions you and your competitors' brands. Customer behavior is based upon their AOBs and total cumulative life experiences. Let's look inside a customer's mind map to understand these perceptions and how customers lay out your brand in their mind. Most people have inside their head a category mind map of aspect of all their purchasing behavior. This map mentally categorizes their perceptions. Take cars, for example. In every customer's mind, there are old cars, new cars, good cars, bad cars, cheap cars, expensive cars, luxury, reliable cars, unreliable cars, cars that are for me, cars for you, SUVs, economy cars, green-friendly cars. It goes on and on and on. Within this subcategory of luxury cars, there are import, domestic, Lincolns, Cadillacs, Lexus, Mercedes, Rolls-Royce, and others. Each brand holds its own set of unique benefits, and each brand maintains a set of perceived value to the customer, embodying a unique blend of the 10 Ps, including customer AOBs on price, prestige, value, style, craftsmanship, features, etc. So each brand has its own place inside the customer's mind map. The final decision occurs inside the category mind map where your customer's AOBs reside. This determines the final purchase behavior. The result is money for you or money for your competitor. Your customer sets the value for your brand. Where you position your brand within the customer mind map is the reality for your brand, and you can help do this yourself. When customers place you in a box, it's almost impossible to change that customer mindset and move your brand to another box. So you got to get it right the first time. So you may attempt to launch your hip brand only to find out that your customers view it as uncool. So then uncool will be the reality for your brand, and that's the way it's going to be forever. Each person's AOBs are different, so each person's mind map is different. That's what they say, first impressions are everything. Brand personality. Your brand personality is what the brand itself would tell you if the brand could speak. A great brand personalities permeate all manner of communication, cultural, visual, linguistic. Here's an example of a brand personality for an outdoor lifestyle firm that I'm going to just create for this demonstration. Okay, let's call it the Black River brand. From the beginning, we at Black River have focused on one thing, the great outdoors. Our Black River outdoor patterns define today's outdoor lifestyle. We are the heirs to the great gift of nature, and I bring the beauty of the great outdoors into your life, from home decor and furnishing to apparel and camping gear. I am America's outfitter of choice and define the outdoor lifestyle you desire. Notice that the brand personality statement is written from the perspective and voice of the brand. Now, let's talk about the brand story. Tell the personal story, the story or legend behind your brand, delivering a deep branded culture that represents a strong bonding opportunity with your customer. The more people that get to know and like your brand, the more they will bond with your brand. For this reason, many brands have a story, a legend, or a personal history behind them that supports the brand's positioning. Here's one I just created for the purpose of this demonstration, okay? We'll talk about the Miss Lubella's brand story. Now, y'all will find Miss Lubella's authentic Southern hospitality deep in the Old South, where the sun shines brighter and the birds are welcoming you with song. And here the beverages are taller, cooler, and sweeter. Fact is, ain't nobody never made a better cool, frosty pitcher of heavenly relief than Miss Lubella. You see, she's been a nanny longer than dirt's been red. So just set up a spell and soak up some of that goodness Miss Lubella's kitchen has to offer. Y'all enjoy now. This statement sets the tone for the brand culturally and linguistically, while the words paint visual imagery in your mind that defines a unique personality, time, and position. Some brands offer entertainment in a brand story, such as the Keebler Elves, who bake cookies in a hollow tree, or poor old Charlie Tuna, who was never quite good enough to be chosen by the Star-Kissed brand. Brand stories may be fiction or non-fiction. Here's a fantasy-based brand story I'll just create for this demonstration. The legend of Icelandic pure fruited glacial teas. Over 10 million years, the great fruited glacial formations of the frigid North Atlantic have amassed sufficient size and ripeness and maturity that when harvested, yield the finest pure fruited glacial teas known to man. Aboard the Polar Star, we steam bottle large frozen chunks of fruit, delivering a cargo of fruited glacial teas to a port near you. We trust that you and your family will endeavor to enjoy our efforts. Our sincerest wishes, Captain E.J. Colnard of the Polar Star. When creating your brand story, tell your customers what they want to hear. Remember that people are interested in stories that support and reinforce their attitudes, opinions, and beliefs. Stories that support AOBs of a group are readily accepted and embraced by that group. Stories that do not support the AOBs of a targeted group create an uphill battle for your brand. As an example, I'll talk about the Cussin Cajun who came to the rescue. If you recall, after Hurricane Katrina devastated New Orleans, massive rioting, looting, and chaos broke out, and the president sent down General Honoré to resolve the problem. The nation demanded leadership and New Orleans to turn to the chaos back into civility, and who better to take charge than a no-nonsense, tough-talking, cigar-chomping guy like General Honoré. Honoré was a John Wayne type who fit the typical stereotype of a leader that the nation wanted to see take charge of this disaster. So when he jumped off his helicopter, cussing and barking out orders to his troops, people started jumping up to their task and work started getting done in an organized fashion. With Honoré, the press could tell the story that the people wanted to hear. Dubbed the Cussin Cajun, this general fit the profile of the World War II stereotype of the non-politically correct guy. He's going to take charge and come down and get that job done. So Honoré fit the profile of the story people wanted to hear. I'll tell you another one, Napoleonic positioning. Napoleon was an excellent steward of his namesake brand. Approaching Cairo, he met the Mamelukes in a fierce battle in a little forgotten village called Embelak. Now, the pyramids were many, many miles away, but in seeing this place in history next to the pharaohs of some of the world's greatest civilization, Napoleon coined his excursion the Battle of the Pyramids. So he realized that this was a story people wanted to hear. They didn't want to hear the Battle of Embla. They wanted to hear the battle that was fought behind the Great Pyramids. And throughout history, good brand framing and stories are key to directing human behavior. Eric the Red founded the first Nordic settlement in Greenland, and he grew the population to over 4,000 settlers. It's an amazing story, the fact since the land was covered with solid ice and there was no green at all to be found. But naming this faraway land Greenland, Eric's story of a better life for ice dwellers easily motivated many settlers to move with him. So let's talk about brand icons. Brand icons deliver a set of visual, implied, written, and audio memory associations with a visual form that symbolizes meaning identifiable with a brand. A brand icon is simply comprised of the unique attributes that customers identify with the brand. These may include a specific color, trademark, logo, product, word, saying, song, mnemonic device, or other element. Coca-Cola owns a unique bottle shape and the colors red and white, a unique script typeface, and a certain polar bear image along with the dynamic wave. Brand icons can be passive or mnemonic. They can be unique attributes that the customers identify with specifically with that brand, or they can be elements that visually identify, like the Playboy Bunny or the Nike swoosh. Many of us will recall the famous Coke "I'd like to teach the world to sing" jingle that resonates in the minds of many Americans decades after the famous commercial spot was aired. Sweet Leaf Tea owns a hand-drawn artistic style and typeface. Coppertone owns the 1950 slogan "Don't be a paleface" and "Tan don't burn," as well as the beloved little girl and dog logo. Burger King built the "Have It Your Way," while Yahoo has a unique yodeling manner in which to sing its name. Abe Plow built the Digel antacid brand on the slogan, "When you eat too well, demand Digel." We've all heard the compelling tagline, "Maybe it's her, maybe it's Maybelline." During World War II, Americans used branding to identify Americans from the German spies. By asking, "What melts in your mouth and not in your hand?" the Germans did not know the answer, but every American that day heard the famous M&M brand promise. Unique memory associations are an important part of the identity of a brand's equity and DNA. These mental associations help to position and define a brand by its association of memory cues to a brand's positioning and/or unique benefit. Many brand memory associations become so strong over time that they're granted an implied ownership within the category. When I was a kid, if I saw a cadmium yellow package 30 feet away in a retail photo department, in my mind I knew it would register Kodak before I was even close enough to read the package. If I found out that it was not a Kodak product but another brand, my reaction to this would be, oh, it's a fake knockoff attempting to fool me by using the Kodak brand icon, which was that cadmium color. Next up, one of the most important parts of your brand, the brand mantra.